What's up, guys? The reviewer here, and today we got my first ever Kamen Rider review series with Kamen Rider fourze. Yeah, today I'll be reviewing the first episode of Kamen Rider fourze, Youthful Transformation. So, yeah. Don't know why it's called that. It's a weird title for an episode. But yeah, so anyway, yeah. So this episode, this is my first. I like Lupin vs. Pada. I have never completed Kamen Rider fourze. Before this rewatch, before I started this review series, I only caught up to episode 12. But now I'm rewatching it. But now I'm watching it for the first time on episode 1. I'm watching it again with episode 1. Yeah, so anyway, this episode starts off with a spaceman and another spaceman, jumping on the moon when a big explosion happens, and we hear the guy say, "Kengo." So then we flash forward to 15 years later, where we see a young man walking down, and we learn that this is Kengo. So, yeah, but this girl tries to give Kengo a love letter, but obviously he's like, "I don't want this," and throws it into the water. But then another guy shows up and is like, dude, what are you thinking? Like, don't do this in the water." And he jumps into the water. And Kengo's kind of like, this dude's really dumb. So, yeah. So then we get the theme song called Switch On by Anna Sutia. I really like this opening. This opening is my favorite Kamen Rider opening ever. Next to O's and Double. I love this opening. This opening has so much good. It has high school elements. Yeah. So then we see after the tower sequence, Youthful Transformation, we see Kengo walking into a class, and weird that this whole scene didn't revolve around our main character. But yeah, so he's walking in class where he sees another girl, and he also sees a robot that turns into a hamburger. A robot turns into a hamburger. This gave me Ninja vibes, but not the whole, Shuriken has a whole cheeseburger. It's just a robot that turns into a cheeseburger. So yeah, so then the teacher comes in and she's like, "Hey, we have a new classmate. And the classmate is the guy from earlier who introduced him as Gentaro Saragi. I'm going to say Gentaro Saragi, and his goal is to befriend everyone in his high school. So the girl that was talking to Kengo, Gentaro introduced her as Yuki, and far off, Yuki is my favorite. I just liked her in this entire episode. Yuki is my favorite. So then it's lunchtime, and at the school, and Gentaro sits in the poplar kids table, and obviously Yuki's like, Gen, she calls him Gen. She's like, "Hey Gen, do not sit there. That's bad." But he's like, "It's a free lunch table." And she's like, "Oh yeah, but there's the muscular people, the nerds, the poplars." And he's like, "How was I supposed to know this?" But then that's when a girl walks in with her posse, and they're like, what's the trash and the nerd doing here?" And he's like, "I'm trash. How dare you talk to my boy Gentaro like that?" And they're like, he's not trash. He's the meaningless guy there. And they're like, um, yeah, they make fun of him. But that's when the girl's boyfriend, Shun, comes in, and we learn that the girl's name is Miyu, and her boyfriend comes in, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, like, 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 they keep calling Gintaro trash, which obviously he's not trash, and and they're like, hey, don't disrespect Shun, and he's like, they call him Daimoji, but I'm gonna call Shun Daimoji, and they're like, and yeah, so he's like, we better take this outside, and they basically start pummeling Gintaro, like, boom, boom, and, but then they run when a monster shows up. So they run when a monster shows up, and yeah. So Gintaro tries to be, like, he tries to fight off the monster, and yeah. But that's when Kengo is like, hey, I'm gonna start the fourze project. But she's like, but Yuki's like, I don't think you should be starting this project. So yeah, so she gives the project to Gintaro, and she's like, Gintaro, like flip down the things on the belt, and he goes, and she's like, like, say henshin, and then go, and he's like, henshin, and then he's like, Uchiketa, and I think that's what he said, and he's like, hey, let's go mano a mano, bruh. So yeah, so he starts fighting the monster. Oh, he's rocket arms, and yeah, and yeah. So then while he's flying, he decides to use Raider arms, and then he decides saw leg, and then Ken goes like, hey, don't use the Raider. So he decides, don't use the Raider and saw. So he decides to use rocket drill final attack to destroy the monster. And yeah. But that's when the head of the school is like, hey, the head of the school is the bad guy, because he's like, fourze's at his school, and he goes eyes red, so obviously he's the bad guy. And so yeah. So then when they're doing it, Gentaro's like, hey, Kengo, we did it, bro. But then Kengo's like, don't use my name, and grab him, and basically that's how the episode ends. That was a really first good episode, fourze. Like, the characters were great. They gotta find out who the monster is who attacked them. Yuki, maybe, as I said before, Yuki may be my favorite character so far. She was great. Yuki and her actress did a very good job. So, yeah, so I'll see you next time on some more Kamen Rider fourze. See you guys. Uchiketa! Let's do it. Fourze style.